Mhm. All right. Welcome everyone. Wait a minute. All right. So I hope the audio is good and everything should be working. All right. So welcome everyone to the new live, and in today's live we are going to work on the stress system and the darkness system. So again, I thought about it and I did some research, and I found out that the system that I was going with is pretty impractical. So what I was hoping for that could happen is let's imagine that we have a player, right? And there is a dark room, and then there is a light room where we have light, and over here we have darkness. There's basically nothing here. And what exactly I want to do is, if the player walks in here, it will get attacked by the light rays, and so we know that it's in light. But if the player walks into a dark room, there is no light ray present, and by default it will say that it's dark. Now there is a way to actually detect the value of light, which is by the light detectors. They do exist, or we can program them to exist. And what they can basically do is get the intensity of the light at a certain place, and we can put that on the head or maybe on the hands of the player to know exactly what amount of light are we getting right now. Okay, and there have to be at least two of them, or we have to put them on head to actually get the light every single time. Because if we are, let's say, in this orientation, okay, yeah, basically in this orientation, and light is coming from this way, and we have the light detector on the other hand, it is in darkness and it will like cause some errors. Now that in itself is not the problem. The problem is that this is performance heavy. This is basically another type of rendering in itself. I don't know what, there is some kind of noise and I really don't know. Okay, let's get to the point. So this is performance heavy, and what I want to say is this is basically another rendering point in the game. So basically, let's say that there is our camera that acts as the renderer, right, which outputs the visual points of the view. But this will not actually output anything, but it will still take in all kinds of light rays into it to detect few things. And this process alone can drop our game from, let's say, 80 to 50 or even 40, or maybe just completely destroy the system. So we're going to go with the easy way, the controlled way. Okay, and also this can cause multiple errors. Let's say that by some degree a light ray is somehow reaching us. It's a single ray, but it is reaching us, and somehow the detector says the intensity is full when we are existing inside a dark atmosphere. So it can be a buggy, and we have to like create a whole system around this, so not really going with that idea. The other way that we can do is plan ahead. So let's plan that this is the map. Okay, we have few rooms here, we have the basement over here, then a storage room, I guess, and some more rooms like over here, and then one room like this. So this is somewhat of our map, right? It's not exactly like this, but this is somewhat of our map. And let's say that some of the places, as you can see, these rooms are locked, but let's say that they are not locked, they are completely dark, right? And if they don't have any light, that means that we can basically put a collider there that will let us know that yes, there is no light there. And once the player enters this collider, it will set the darkness, or maybe in dark, to true. And once the player leaves this area, it will set this to false. So either we make a completely different system around this and spend our most of our time here, and then it can be a cool system, it can be an amazing part, it can maybe a selling point for our game, but do I really want this to be my to be in my first project? I don't think so. So maybe I work on this and make a completely different game, maybe a small game around this point. But for now, we're going to work with the collision system. Okay, so let's go. Let's do that. All right. So first of all, we have to make a collider for this. And I already have this colliders existing in the world, but there is no way to actually know what kind of colliders they really are, and we cannot change them. This is a sphere collider, and probably for a room area or for a map area, we want a cube collider to actually detect the darkness, or actually set up the darkness. So for that reason, we have to be able to customize this. So let's go into edit collider, and over here we have the sphere collision, right? But we can add different kind of collision over here, like box collision, or maybe even any other collision if exists. Here's capsule collision, but yeah, we don't really need that. So now what we can do is we can switch between them depending on a enumeration, or maybe just a simple boolean value which detects is it box or is it sphere. Okay, so yeah, let's go with the boolean value. We don't have to create more assets that way. So is this a box? Okay, is this a box collision? We're going to make this instance editable, and let's put this here. So if this is a box collision, we want to disable the sphere collision by going over here and set collision enabled to no collision. All right, and also make sure that hidden in game is false for both of them permanently. Okay, and if this is not a box collision, then we're going to get the box and these and set collision to this. Right now, I do have to take a break. Wait, just give me a minute. So, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so my headphone mic was on, and ah, okay. So sound would be much better now, I think. All right. Uh, that was causing a lot of noise back. Okay, so let's work on this. So we set up the collision, and in this way we can basically set if the collision is box related or is it sphere related. Now let me also make it a bit cleaner, and then let's make the default value to be false. I actually want the default collider to be the sphere collider. Okay, and let's test it out. Because this collision, I haven't really set it up anything. It should do the thing that it was planned to do. If I get in here, it should create a blast, a explosion. All right, now let's do another collider. Okay, and this time what we're going to do is get the box collision. Basically go to the default of this and set up, this is a box collision, and let's go back, event graph, and over here I call a event dispatcher whenever we enter this particular area. Okay, and this event dispatcher will uh, from here we can run a event which will basically do all kinds of stuff. So we can get the box collision, and we can get the actor begin overlap, and we can basically put this just like that. But this is on collision started. We, for the darkness system, we also want collision to be disabled once we end the overlapping. So to do that, let's go back to the box and click on end overlap. And now we're going to create another event dispatcher called collision ended. Now there is another thing that is going to be like a bug, uh, something like a fail-safe mechanism, because it can be, and it's just not that it can be, it will be running this event if a AI or even a physics object gets inside here, and it will cause all kinds of error. If basically we don't want anything else to be influenced by this collider. If we just want our player, then what we can do is get from the other actor equal equal, and then we can get player pawn and basically use that to know if the player that we are interacting with or the actor that we are interacting with is the correct one. Okay, and then we can have a branch which will run both of these things, and it will go from or boolean. So if either of them are true, it should run, and that should do our job. All right, so now we have to do something similar to the bottom part, to the end, the overlap, ending of the overlap. So let's also call the end overlap for the sphere collision. Put both of them in. Other actors, and then get the collision end. Okay, so over here collision started, and over here collision ended. Now I hold them inside my level blueprint. So if you can see over here, on collision event started, we set a emitter at location, which is the explosion, and it depends on the collider. Okay, now this will still run even if we are going inside, let's say, the box collision. Okay, but it is really easy to know if it's a box collider or not. We just have to get box, and there will be a value. Is this a box collision? And then we can set up a system. So sphere collision will cause explosion, whereas the other type of collision will create flames or a fire. Okay, and the location is going to be the actor location. Okay, so now what is going to happen is that this one should cause explosion, and this one, oh wait, yeah, why is this not hidden in game? Oh yeah, this should be hidden in game. Why did I do that? All right, so let's go now. And now I cannot see anything. So so for this one, I'm going to go inside the asset, like the world asset. I'm going to select the box, get hidden in game, and close that. And for this one, we're going to go inside the sphere and set it off. So now we are able to see them. So if we go over here, there should be a fire, and we cannot see it. But over here, there should be explosion. Okay, so let's see what happened there. Let's put this over here. Let's put this over here. So we are putting a emitter at location if the box collision is on, which should be over here. Auto destroy, auto activate system, pooling mechanism. How about we also do explosion here, but we are doing it with true and false. Let's see. Okay, it is not causing any kind of collision at all. Like, maybe it has something to do with how we did this. How about we put this at bottom? Maybe I have no idea what is actually causing this. But let's also print string hello every time we do the collision. Okay, so if we go over here, it says hello, and right now there's nothing. Yeah, for some reason we are not able to collide with this. So what is the reason? What is the reason behind this? So if we go over here, and if the box collision is unable to true, we disable the sphere collision. That means we cannot collide with the sphere. But if it's set to false, that means that we are not able to collide with the box. Um, collision overlap all dynamics. So that is working. What is wrong with you? Oh, I know. So over here inside the actor palette, we are only going with the collider, which is the reference to this particular collider over here. We are not, in fact, have any kind of following to the other type of collider, which is this one. So what we have to do is actually bind an event to this particular collider and then use that over here. Okay, so we need to get the collider number 2, set the target, and we'll go to the collision started event, and then it will start this event and it will start the explosion and stuff. I hope that it will work. Let's see. If we enter here, for some reason it's just not colliding with it. Okay. Okay. So object type is world dynamic and it is overlapping world dynamic. Is it for some reason? Let me get this over here and print string. Okay. Okay. So, as you can see, that now it is working. For some reason, I really don't know why, but the collision over here was set to something else. I have no idea why. Okay, but the collision of this box collider was set to ignore collision inside the asset itself. So now what we need to do is have this box collider be designated as the darkness collision. Okay, and we can do that very easily. And the only thing that we need to do is actually have a blueprint and components, no, no, not components, um wait a minute, yeah, data and player interaction. So over here we can add the types of interactions. What are the kind of interactions? None, hide. So instead of using this, because I don't think that I'm using it anywhere, basically. Because if you go to the player over here, go to interfaces and go inside interactions, yeah, we are basically not, this is basically inexistent. Uh, inexistent. So what we're going to do is go inside the interaction type, and instead of hide, we're going to call over here for dark. Okay, and then we can have light, and we can call in this, instead of the interaction type, to be the uh, world environment, environment type. Okay, is it light, is it dark, or is it none? Basically you don't want to do anything at that point. So we're going to set up these things, and instead of, again, interaction type, we're going to call this environment environment type. I don't think that is the correct spelling, but whatever, we can go with this. And instead of interactions, we're going to be world change environment. Yeah, I don't think that is the correct spelling, but I can do search right now and find it out, but whatever. Alright, so over here what we can do is again switch on it, not sequence, but switch on this. And once we are in dark, we will set up the sanity to run up. And if once we are in light, we're going to set up the sanity to run down. But we're going to change the sanity just like the battery. We're changing the battery per second, and similarly we're going to change the sanity per second. So let's do that. So over here we are going to grab two variables, not two variables, just one variable, which is basically going to be in darkness. Okay, I don't think we are using that, and now we just have to set up this. Okay, that's it. And now over here in the collider, what we're going to do is we're going to check is darkness collider. Okay, and instead of this, we're just going to say box. Okay, this is also a instance editable, and then we're going to get this is darkness collider and put both of these things in both of the nodes. And if this particular one is a darkness collider, then we're going to get player pawn, and then we're going to call for that particular interaction, which is change environment. And environment type in this one is going to be dark, and in this one is going to be light. Okay, and just like battery, we're going to make a sanity meter. Okay, so let's go over here and add a few stuff like max sanity is going to be a float, then current sanity, then there will be decreasing amount. Okay, on how much do you want to decrease the sanity with? Okay, and probably that's it. If you go inside the flashlight, there are multiple of the things, but we're not really going to use them because the darkness is basically doing most of the thing. Right, so let's do that. We're going to go inside the per second event, and over here we have the battery reduction, and as you can see, these are the per second events. We just have to attach more events that are going to happen at per second, and we just have to attach them to this point. Pretty easy. Okay, and we can go inside the battery reduction and see, okay, too much stuff, but that's basically the whole battery system. So we don't really need all of this. We just need to understand how we are decreasing the battery amount. Okay, so what we need basically is the max sanity. Okay, this is the max sanity, and we need to set it at the point like we want to increase this. So we, okay, so we want to do two things, right? We want to increase sanity and we want to decrease sanity, and this will be happening in light, and this will be happening in dark. In real life, darkness is the absence of light. Okay, but in video game, in this particular video game that I'm making, what is happening is the light is actually the absence of the player from the darkness collider. Basically, this time it's the absence of dark. Okay, so the light is basically the absence of dark. It's completely opposite. Okay, so what exactly are we going to do then? Because the darkness can go from the max to 0, and the light can move from the 0 to max. But I want to set few things, like if it goes to below a certain point, it will require some special elements or maybe some special activity to increase it. No. Maybe we need special equipment, maybe like energy drinks or maybe candy bar or stuff like that, which increases our dopamine in real life. They can increase the rate, okay, the basic rate, which is the decreasing or increasing rate. Okay, again, the darkness can also increase the rate of decreasement. Okay, so the rate can be differentiated depending on what kind of influence we are under. All right, so firstly, max sanity, then current sanity, and then the decreasing amount, or we will say the rate, sanity rate. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to decrease the current sanity from itself. Remember, we are decreasing current sanity from itself to a certain rate. So let's do that first. Okay, firstly, we're going to make a branch which will access is it in darkness. Okay, then let's set up the decreasing first. If it's true, then we're going to get the sanity rate, get the current sanity, and then we're going to set the current sanity by decreasing the sanity rate from this. Okay, pretty simple. And now what we need to do, on every decretion, we're going to go with the branch, and we will check, is this equal to, okay, we're going to check, is this equal to 0? And if it is, then if this is equal to 0, that means we have reached the bottom line. We don't want to decrease this anymore. So either this should be in darkness, and like, how do we stop this? How do we stop this from moving up or down? Yeah, we can check this before. Yeah, we can check this rather than checking it afterwards. We can check this before. So we're going to check, is the current sanity equal to 0? Okay, equal to or below 0, less than or equal to 0. Okay, if that is, then we're going to set the current sanity to be 0, and then again, if it's false, that means it is not below or equal to 0, then we're going to get the current sanity, and we're going to set it, get current sanity, get sanity rate, and subtract it. All right, so this is the decreasing of the sanity. Now, how we are going to actually increase this? So again, similarly, we need another branch. Okay, but this time, instead of checking it with 0, we're going to check it with the max sanity. Is this more than the max sanity or equal to the max sanity? Okay, greater than or equal to max sanity. If it is, then we're going to set the current sanity to be the max sanity, and we're going to only do this once. Do once. Similarly over here, just need to do it once. All right, now when do we actually reset this? We're going to reset this once we have like reached a different point, like we have reached sanity 0. Now it will be a weird, so if ever, if even once we decrease the current sanity, then we will reset this And if we ever increase the sanity, then we will reset the upper one, basically. Okay, so let me just make it a bit nicer. All right, now let's go with the false. So in the false, we're going to get the current sanity, and this time, instead of subtracting it with the sanity rate, we're going to add it with it. Okay, so add into the sanity rate. And after this, going to go and reset this. Ta-da-da. All right, let's select all of these nodes, make more space. All right, so this is the basic loop that will be able to let us increase it or decrease it upon the darkness factor. Okay, and this is the darkness factor only, and the sanity will only decrease or increase depending on the darkness, but the influence, the rate, the sanity rate will depend on other things, like what exactly is the rate. So now let's set up few of the default values. The max sanity, I want this to be 500. Okay, the current sanity, which we are going to be saying when we enter the game, so it's going to be 500 as well. But the sanity rate, how much do we want to decrease it per second? Okay, uh let's go with 2. Now if we go and get the calculator, because I don't want to do math. So if we divide uh 500 by 2, that was so easy, why I didn't do that. So 250 seconds, it will take 250 seconds, which means divide by 60, it takes about 4 minutes. Okay, like a little bit more than 4 minutes for the player to like uh become insane if they stay in the darkness for like 4 minutes. That's the longevity of the sanity within that meter. Okay, so and it can be decreased. I mean, this factor value, this 2 can be 4, which means it can go down to 125, which means this time will go down to basically 2 seconds, 2.08. So yeah, so instead of it being 4 minutes, now it's just 2 minutes, right? And then you can even decrease it even more. Maybe it's instead of 2, 10. Okay, somehow you ate something or you see something so insane that your sanity rate has decreased to 10, and now you only have 50 seconds, under a minute, to get into light or you will be insane. Okay, and the sanity rate of decreasing is different than sanity rate of increasing, so we do need them to differentiate between themselves. So let me do that. Sanity rate D for decrease, and I for increase. Okay, we're going to put I over here, which is what we have, and D over here. So decreasing is again going to be 2. Okay, and increasing is also 2 by default. You will be able to get to the max sanity in like 4 minutes by default, and you will be able to like do the other part in 4 minutes as well. We can actually go back to 1. Okay, decreasing is kind of like lesser than the increasing, which again will increase it to the double, which is about 832. So it will be around 8.5 minutes. So yeah, that is a pretty long time. So we can go about that too as well. So this is the time. So we take 4 minutes to increase our sanity rate, and we take 8 minutes to decrease it. So once you have all of these things set it up, now let's make a function of this so it's not really that ugly over here. And let's also delete this. Collapse to function, and this is going to be called sanity reduction. And again, if you don't know why exactly I'm doing this on per second event, is to keep the game fair. Okay, because frame rates can be different. It can be different from my PC to someone else's PC, and maybe because the frame rates are different, event tick will run at different pace, which will decrease and increase the sanity meters at different rate, which can cause unfairness. Okay, so just for that reason, I'm doing everything about battery reduction, sanity reduction in per second event. Right. Now that we know this, let's test this as well. And to test it, we're going to go inside the event graph in itself. Uh, event tag. Okay. And then we're going to print on each tag about what is our current sanity rate, current sanity basically. Okay, so if we are outside, as you can see, it's 500. If we go, okay, this is not that one. I have to check this is darkness collider for it to know that we actually want this to be the darkness one. As you can see, it start to decrease. Now it start to increase because we are outside of the vision. Okay, let me go back. So as you can see, it is decreasing. Okay, it is decreasing by 2 and it's increasing by 1. So somehow I did the opposite, which is not good. But as you can see, it is decreasing, and at some point it will decrease to 0, but that point will take in like 5 minutes. No, 8 minutes, I think. Yeah, 5 minutes, and we don't really have that much time to very soon. So now we do know if we get out of here, it increases, and if we get inside back into it, it starts to decrease. And it's not like really buggy, which means like it doesn't go to 500 or 0 at some points. It's working. It's definitely working. Okay. First time I have it. Oh my god. Wait a minute. Okay, it's working. Sometimes this causes some errors. Okay, well, blah, blah, blah. Ah, too much stuff goes into my mind at the same time. Okay, so now for the next thing, we need it in the HUD. Just like the battery, we need to know about the sanity, or maybe we don't. Maybe we do. I don't know. So if I go over here in the contents and we go to assets, maybe fab, megascans, no, project files, font, puzzle systems. Where is the where is that particular asset? Level interface, showcase, map, movie, spec level elements, active physics board materials. Okay, let me just go to the HUD. Wow. Okay, let me go to the HUD. Okay, we do have textures away. So we have these three options for the head right now. Okay, in future I will change it, but for now we have these three options that we can basically decrease. Okay, at certain point we can decrease them, we can make them disappear. Okay, so let me do that. So we're going to go inside player HUD, and over here we're going to create a image. Okay, and let's put it right over there, and we're going to make the positions to be 0 0, and we're going to make the size to be 100 and 100. Now let's put in the brush, which is this particular brush. I'm gonna go with this cute one. Okay, so what we want to do, if we do this, uh if we do this, it will just shrink down, right? But do we have crop? Nope. So we don't have crop. uh da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, left down right mouse button, inherit. I don't really think we do have any kind of value like that. Battery is a progress bar, right? And we cannot really change the. Oh, maybe we can't. Oh, maybe we can. Let's try to duplicate this. Uh, let's have a progress bar. Okay, and let's set the background image to be this. Okay, and it looks really weird, but um, instead of draw as box, we're going to draw it as image. And let's try to set volume here. So if we set up the percentage, as you can see, it does this, right? Now we can also add a fill image. All right, so fill image can be this one, or maybe it can be this one. Okay, so what's basically happening is when we are doing this. So we are basically like make this a image as well. And what is this? Dun, dun, dun. Du, 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 du. Is for marquee. Bar fill right. Mask. Bar fill style. Scale or mask. Oh yeah, we can do this. We can do this. We can basically remove anything from here and we can make the background image whose tint we can basically put to 0. And now we can make the bar fill from left to right, from uh, bottom to top. Okay, and at the full percentage is this, and then it can decrease to a certain point, and we can make the fill image wait a minute, percentage. How do we change the color of percentage? Yeah, over here. So we can set it back to white. All right, I mean that's something. We can make this 100 as well, and let's change it back to the cute one. So now that's our sanity meter. This is 100% by default, and it can change to other percentages depending on our battery, depending on our sanity. Pretty nice. And unlike the battery itself, is going to be actually enabled forever. So first of all, let's go to progress bar and make this sanity bar. Okay, let's go to graph, and now we have this function over here which says update battery on herd, and it updates the percentage. So let me also go and get this particular one, and we're going to get another function which will be update sanity on HUD. Okay, and the input is going to be current sanity. That's it. And soon enough we can have the rate inside of like just like we have this, how many batteries we have, we can have like a indication of like which in on what kind of influence are we under. Do the sanity rate is uh, higher because of some influence, or is it lower because of some basically, do we yeah, basically the increasing rate and decreasing rate are different or not. We can change that based, but we can change that in future. For now we're just going to work with the current sanity. All right, so to do that, let's go to per second event, and whenever we are changing this, okay, it doesn't matter when we are changing this, whenever we are changing this. So in this line right here, and in this line right here, we're going to get this. Okay, so let me increase it, and let me decrease this. And so now we're going to call for that by going to component, getting the, now let me show you one thing. I don't think I have showed you how you can actually organize these stuff, right? So what you can do is you can select a particular one. Like right now I cannot figure out in where is the, like where is my herd, right? Where is my player herd? So let me search for it. Player herd. So as you can see, it is inside gameplay elements and widgets. Okay, so how exactly do I get to the subfolder? Okay, so if you haven't figured it out yet, how we can create the subfolders like the door key or gameplay element and controls and widgets, then the way to make the subfolder is pretty easy. Let me just do it right here. So let's say that I want to make a sanity system, right? So I'm going to go and create a category called sanity. It's pretty easy, but Soon after, we will have sanity system, then flashlight system, then inventory system, and all kinds of system, and they're just existing like this, which is also increasing the screen space and again increasing the complexity of everything. But other than that, what we can do is we can select this particular one, and then we can go over here and we can say system. Okay, firstly systems, then the straight line. Okay, the like the one looks like I, right? Which is directly above your enter key, basically. Okay, so press that one, and then after that you can name your subfolder, which is in this case sanity. And if I press enter, now we have systems, and then we have sanity. Right, now we can move the darkness to here, and then the current sanity to this, rate to this, and decreasing rate to this. And then what we can do is we can also, I think, I don't know, but I think if we take the flashlight, we can move it to systems as well. Yeah, so I think either we can, yeah, we cannot do this. All right. So it will take time. I will do it later, but what you can do basically again go inside the categories and create another like systems. Make sure that the naming convention is same there. You should name exactly what you have named here, and then if you press enter, now there will be a flashlight menu, and you can move all of this stuff inside there. All right, so now we have sanity, and then we have flashlight in just one system folder. All right, so now what we need is we need to get the player head. Now after getting this, we're going to call for get, no, not over here, we're going to go over here, update sanity on HUD. Okay, and we're going to get our current sanity, and target is player HUD. Now do the same thing over here, and we're going to kind of drag this down and put this over here. Right, so this is enough to actually update the thing. Now let me test it out. So right now it's 500, the sanity meter is completely filled. If I go inside, it will start to disappear or decay or whatever you want to call it. But the rate is too low. Let me increase the rate. Da-da. Just just for the testing purpose, okay? Going to go in here, decrease rate to be 50 and increase rate to be 50 as well. It will be much snappier, but still. Oh, we don't set it though. We are not setting it up though. So let me go back to the interfaces, and let's double click on sanity on HUD. Then let's grab the sanity bar and set percentage, set percent to be this. All right then. Now if we go inside here, it should start to decrease, which is not. Why? Why are you not decreasing? All right, so don't really know what's actually happening. How about instead of the set percentage, yeah, the what? It is working over here, but it's not really working over here. So how about, oh yeah, this is not like uh this is not corresponding to 1% because the percentage, the battery percentage, how it works, it have a bar. Okay, it can be like this up down bar as well. It works with either 1 or 0. This is 0.09, 0.078, like that. Okay, it's not 500 to 0. We have to take it to this position. And how are we going to do it? By pretty simple. If your maximum value, okay, make sure of the maximum value. So if your maximum value is let's say 500, right, and then you divide it by 500 and then you multiply it by 100, it gives you what? 100%. but but basically you can understand that if we divide the current 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 sanity by the maximum sanity, then we're going to get our percentage with 1 to 0 instead of 100 to 1 as well. Okay, 100 to 0, we are getting it with 1 to 0. We just have to uh, not do this, and definitely not do this. All right, so we have to go back to our sandbox character, and over here, before we enter this sanity, we're going to get the current sanity, or maybe we can just get it from here, and then we're going to divide it. Okay, we're going to divide it, current sanity by maximum, and that is our uh, target. Now we also want to do it over here, but too much less of a space. So let me increase the space a bit. Okay, let's put it over here. Put this one. Maybe get the current sanity from here and put the max sanity over there. All right, so I think this should work. I think we still have to like uh, figure it out if it doesn't. So if we go inside now, as you can see, it is kind of like getting eaten away, right? And we reach 0, and once we get out of the darkness, it will start to increase. As you can see, the sanity is basically increasing. Now we can make this much more dynamic, like we can have another image portrayed over this particular texture. And what we can basically do is let's imagine that this black line stays the same and this white part gets depleted away. So we do have like a kind of a outline of this container, right? So we can make this tab much dynamic. It's just a matter of doing. Now there is one thing that I didn't actually pay attention to, and that is this background blur. Now as you can see that this background blur is setting behind everything else, right? but it's not really visible right now. It only becomes visible when we open up the text block. And I also don't want the slots, the battery percentage, the sanity meter when we have this pop up over here. So what I'm going to do is move the sanity bar to somewhere over with the battery percentage, and then I'm going to move the background blur of whatever wherever it is to the event. Okay, but as you can see, it is not really like going out of its way, and uh, yeah, so maybe we do have to duplicate this, delete everything else, and then delete these things. Okay, too much, too much, too much. I'm doing too much. Um, let's make a canvas panel first. What is the width? 50, 50, 50. So let's make a canvas panel. Okay. Anchors everywhere, and it's going to be 50, 50, 50, 50. Oh, the canvas is actually over here. Okay, and then we're going to move the event not pick and event not the notification and quick subtitle, just the not pick. Okay, and we're going to move it over here, and then we're going to move the background blur to over here as well. Not here, but over here. Okay, so what we have is that this background blur will blur out everything else except this note, and that will give us much better visual uh, cue, like what is actually happening, rather than some disturbance on all over the window, basically. And everything else can work just as it already do. So let's save everything, and let's test everything with this. So there should be a node right here, the puzzles, and if I pick it up, as you can see, it blurred out the sanity meter, the percentage, and the slots. And now we can read it in peace and probably note it down somewhere, and then we can go back and unlock these saves and stuff like that. Right, now what else do we have left? We can go inside here, we can decrease the sanity, but we're not really using the sanity right now. So we need few events that happen at certain position in the sanity meter. Okay, so let's do that. So in the event graph, we're going to come over here inside maybe, what are these? Oh, this is AI testing, and okay, so this is a type of event, scare breathing. Okay, so I have a sound over here. If we go to the viewport, viewport, so over here we have this sound. Okay, and it's like this far away because this, as you can see, this radius, this sphere is the source sphere. If the player is even over here, okay, if the player is inside this sphere, basically the voice will be sounding from everywhere. Okay, it will be a 2D sound at that point. Okay, so how we use sound 2D, it will work like that. So this particular sphere need to be away from the character itself or the camera itself, because the camera is the one that is actually getting all kinds of sound. So this particular sphere is behind the player. Okay, So there is like if I turn this volume on, it will hear like some human or maybe a ghost is breathing behind us, and if we move, there's nothing because it's just a sound, and it will always be behind us because it is connected to our mesh. Okay, so I have this event, and I basically turn on the like turn up the volume and turn down the volume. That's all I'm doing here. And after a duration, like I stop it, and after another duration of let's say 10 seconds or 60 seconds, I turn it off. So it's not that repetitive. All right, so we do have this kind of a jump scare. I don't think it's a jump scare, but whatever. And now we need a event. Let's go with custom event. So we can make this custom event, and then we can call this sanity meter half. Okay, so this particular one will run when the sanity meter is at half. Maybe we can show like a few hallu- hallucinations, and maybe some kind of like this breathing starts, but not really that kind of a insane stuff. It's just like mild insanity. Okay, and then we're going to have another custom event that is going to run at I don't what okay, this is going to run at sanity meter. Is it meter or meter? I think it's this one. Okay, so sanity meter full, or maybe close to full. Okay, this will be full. Okay, and then there will be another custom event for sanity meter. Sanity meter depleted or finished. So we have these things. So full, half, and finished. And now we need to call them. So for now, just for debugging, we're going to go with it's full, and then my god, ah, I don't know why they haven't fixed this yet. All right, so now let's duplicate this and duplicate this. So insanity, and this will be close to the half, to the bottom. Okay, so we have these few clues to know exactly where we at the sanity meter, and then we can check it out from here. Not the battery reduction, in the sanity reduction. Okay, so how do we actually going to check all of these out? So firstly, we're going to actually have sequences in both of them. uh, let's move it over here, another sequence, and let's move it a bit. I just want to make sure that this loop is at as clean as possible. Okay, we can move this to the 1, and this can stay at 0. And now what we need to do is these both of these sanities, wait a minute, reroute node. So what we want is both of them will run a single event. Okay, or maybe they just run simultaneously. Even if we are increasing or even if we are decreasing, we're going to check few stuff. So firstly, we're going to check is the maximum sanity, is the current sanity equal to maximum sanity. Okay, I'm not doing it over here because it's going to cause a lot of like confusion for me, my confusion for myself. Because if I put it like the full sanity over here, the end sanity over here, and then I just have to check the half sanity, which is like pretty good idea of checking everything up, but still it's going to like cause this code to be like condensed, like too condensed, and I really don't like that. So for that reason, I'm going to check it for everything. So firstly, we're going to check is the current sanity equal to the max sanity, and if it is, then we're going to go and run do once. Firstly, do once, and we're going to run the sanity meter full. Okay, but if it's false, then we're going to check again is the current sanity less than. Okay, we're going to check is this less than or equal to. We're going to get the max sanity and then we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, so is this less than that the half of the max sanity? Then we're going to again do once and then sanity meter half, and again at that false. This time we're just going to check is the sanity current sanity equal to 0, and if that's true, then we're going to do once and set the sanity meter to be finished. All right, now when exactly do we reset them, right? Because we do need to reset them at some point. So one way is to like basically send them to a single reroute node. All right, so again just send them all to a single reroute node, or you can directly send them to a sequence. Okay, I'm just going to do that. uh, Alt control, how does it work? Oh my god, I want to do this. Okay, let me just connect them. Okay, so if any one of them, well, this is going to cause problem because I don't want to reset this when this is running. So okay, okay, it's going to be clustered, but whatever. So this is going to reset this. Okay, and it's also going to reset this. Now this one will reset this. It's much more complicated. Oh my god. And this one also do this. Oh my god, no, 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 no. What? This. All right, so we need sequence, two sequences after each of them. Two, oh my god, what am I even doing? Um, something like that. It is much more complex than before. All right, so first one got reset, second one got reset by both of them, and now let's set up the third one. So firstly, we're going to reset it with the second one, and then we're going to reset the second one by the first one. Uh, what I don't even know what I said there, but yeah, basically this is the loop. So it's really hard to actually figure out like what is happening, but I can. Can I? Can I really? So let's set up a few things like resets first and second. Okay, and pin it so that we can see it. And this one will reset first and third. So basically, I know the functionality, or maybe for some reason, no. If somehow someone were to work with me, they know what I'm exactly doing, because this, I don't think that even I will remember what I'm doing here after like a week. Okay, so now we know that the this sequence resets this one and this one, and this sequence resets this one and this one, and this sequence resets this one and this one. All right, so let's check it out. So if we play, we have to disable the tick printing. So in the event graph, over here. So if I just like go inside here and move out, maybe that was less than a second. Okay, so it says it's full now, right? And now if I like stay in here and let it go down like half of a way, and it will say close to the bottom, close to the bottom 2 times, and then it now it should say what? It didn't say anything that at that point. Wait, what? And it should never say close to the bottom 2 times. Let me check again. I did something stupid. I just know I did something stupid. So this should run at that point, and this is finished. And if we go to the event graph and look over here, this is insanity, this is close to the bottom, and this is full. Maybe instead of equal to 2, maybe we can do it less than or equal to oh, less than or equal to 0. How about that? I don't. I still don't know the reason why it would reset like in mid, because I know that I set it to be 50. Let's say that the maximum is 100 and the mid value is 50, and I did set it like, is it if the current value is less than or equal to, oh maybe Oh my god. Less than or equal to 50, then call the function. Okay, I know that that much is clear. But what else I cannot understand is how is this getting reset over here by itself? Because none of the others are being called, right? Oh, I know, I know. So what exactly happened? No. That cannot work. Um. Oh, wait a minute. Even if this is a, oh yeah. Even if the current sanity is 0, it never will be false because we are checking it. Is it less than or equal to 0? Less than or equal to the half of the value of the max sanity. So what exactly we have to check is the current sanity is in a range of this. Okay, so let's do that. So in range, okay, in range. So this is going to return the perfect one. So is this in range of the half? We're going to plus something and we're going to minus something. So let's say we minus 5 and we plus 5, and then we're going to check. Okay, is this right? Is this current sanity between the, so basically what we are checking over here is, instead of checking is this less than 50, we're going to check is this less, is this between 45 or 55? Okay, is this between this range? We are checking basically that point, and if it is, then it will be true, but if it's not, then it will do this stuff. All right, let's check this one out. So first one is working, we know. We stay here for a second and then we get out, let it fill, it's full, and now we stay close to the bottom. Now this time it's only being called once, and then insanity. All right, so we are able to get different type of events from single depletion. Now we can set up what is actually going to happen in them, basically maybe in demo, or maybe I set up few other things, but I don't think I really have the assets or the stuff or even the creativity left to do it today. So yeah, that much is it for the sanity system. Now there is something that I have to do before I go, and that is the saving system, because saving system doesn't require anything else. It just requires what is our current sanity, what is our current sanity rate, and yeah, basically that. And because I'm not really saving anything else at this point, also we also like have to do that. And one more thing, um we I uh how do we save stuff? Okay, for now we will do it a keybind style. Okay, so what we're going to do, if we press, let's say uh S, okay, but with the shift. Okay, if we press shift S instead of control S, which is saving basically, but if we press shift and then we press S, then we want to say hello. For now I want to test if this even working. So shift S, not working. Is this working with just S? Ta-da-da. Nope. Is this working at all? Because last time I saw that it was not being. Yeah. And I really haven't actually found out what is the reason behind this, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It really is like if we go to default level and if I play and press 3, it's still not doing anything. What is happening? Why are you doing this to me? So I don't really know why, but the that thing is not working. So we might need to make a system. So this collection over here works with I. Okay, so whenever we press I, it works. So I'm just going to come over here and say print string hello when we press I. Okay, so this is working. Now let's go back to the actor palette because I don't really like the look of it. Okay, so now what we need to do is every time we press I, we're going to save the game, and every time we begin the play, begin on the event begin play, and somewhere over here in the widget management and stuff, we're going to load the game. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, before we set up the camera, before we set up the input, we're going to load everything in. All right, so first thing first, what exactly do we have to load? Save. So firstly, I want to save the player location. Okay, and I want to save the battery percentage. I want to save how much battery do I, like how much batteries do I have, like the amount of batteries, and then how much sanity do I have. So for that, I think I'm going to make a structure just like the options one. So in the systems save game data, we're going to create blueprint structure as saved layer. Okay, and over here we're going to get all of these things. So firstly, transform. Okay, instead of like location and stuff, we're just getting the transform, and then we're going to get battery. Oh my god. All right, let me do this. Battery percent. Okay, which will be float, then sanity percent, y. Okay, and then we're going to have the battery amount. Now there are many other things that I want to save, but for now we just need to see if this even working or not, instead of like getting everything done and not really having anything work basically. So now what we need to do is open up the BP save game, and over here we have save game and save options. Now we need to add another one which will be save the player, and we're going to have a input called player details, and over here we're going to have that structure which is s underscore saved player. Similarly, we have to go inside the BP save game, not the BP save options, which is different. And over here, we're going to add that particular variable. So player save, right? And over here, we need to add underscore saved player. I don't think we need that. All right, now let's go inside our um, GI. So right now, as you can see, we are checking out if we are saving up to the options or not. And if we are not, then we go with the slots and we check in all kinds of slots. But we don't really know. Like, we don't really know which slot we are saving to, right? At this point, we don't know. So we need a point. We need all right. So right now we are saving the thing, but we don't really know in where we are saving it. So for now, because we I don't really have the slot system for this. What we're going to do is set up set this up over here. So we're just going to save game save one, or maybe game save slot one. Okay. And the other thing is inside the interface, we're going to go inside the save player, and we're going to get the menu options. Not the menu options. Saved game, and then get player save. Set player save. All right, and then we're going to set it up over here, and then the slot name is going to be similar to this one because we need to save it to that particular slot. All right, so now that much is done. Now let's go back to the character where we will actually do everything. So in here, we're going to call get game instance, and then we're going to get or save the player, right? On started, we're going to save the player, and then we can split struct this pin, and we can input every transform. So firstly, we're going to get actor transform and input that in. Then we're going to get the battery percentage, which is this one. And then we're going to get the sanity percent, which is the current sanity. And then we're going to get the battery amount, which is this one. All right, that's the basic thing. And now we need to set up all of these things in our begin play. But before that, let me print string for the debugging. Save the game. All right, so inside the debugging, before we do anything else in the possessed client, we are doing it over here. So let's go with apply saved variables. So how am I going to change this is, as you can see, this sequence is changing them. So in first one, we're going to do the options, and the second one, we're going to save the, we're going to get access to the saved game, basically. I am so weak at explaining stuff, but basically we can get all of the information from here and we can set them up. Okay, so let's get the saved game. From there, we're going to get player save. From there, we're going to break it. Okay, but yeah, we don't really need to break it. We can do this. And then we need to set everything up. So first of all, set actor transform. All right, we need to put this in. Then the next thing we want is to set the current battery, then current sanity, and then the current battery amount. Okay, let's move them over here. Battery percentage, sanity percentage, and amount. So this is the saving and loading of the game. So let me see if this works. I somehow loaded at 000, which is not good. Definitely not good. Da-da-da-da. Oh yeah. What we can do? Um, we actually do need to. Oh my god. So let me go over here. Play from here. Yeah, it's not going to work. We set the percentage to 0. Uh, oh no. How about we don't do this? We just worry about the battery percentage. How about that? Right? We will just print this so we know that it's working. Then I can fix it uh, afterwards. All right. So at first, as you can see, rotation, everything is 000. Let me also go back here and make the duration to be 60 so it stays. So as you can see, the location is 00, rotation is 00, and size is 111. So we don't really need that. Now if I press I, saved the game, and now if I play it again, okay, it still didn't save it, I guess. Hey, why is that? If I turn on the flashlight, it decreased that much, and if I go inside the sanity hole, it decreased that much, and if I save it like right there and then go back, okay, those messages are trying to tell me something which I'm not really understanding at this point. Okay, access none, trying to read property, get saved game over here inside our character, and for some reason they are unable to get this thing right. But why? Wait a minute, we need to set this slot name to something else. We we aren't really loading the game. Oh my god. So for now, I think we should just do it on sequence. Why not? So we are basically saving, loading both of the game. We are saving this particular slot to the saved game, and we are saving the option slot to the saved options. So it's not really going to cause that many error. And even now, we cannot access this. Um, Let me go over here and upon saving the game, I need to know break. So we are like trying to print the transform. So let me just check if it is different. So yeah, as you can see, it is not saving correctly. Actor location, it's saying 000. Why? Why? Du-du-du, du-du-du. Save the player. Save the player goes to over here, and we save the player, and then how about the battery percentage? Forget about the transform. What about the battery percentage? 00. Why would it be 00? Ah, what is happening? um, let me see. Let me see the widgets. So in the options menu, we are saving it over here, and we are basically sending this information. We are not doing anything else. Whatever the information is here, we send them forward. And for some reason, we are not able to do that. So if I set this, so this is the current battery that we are setting up, and it should be similar to the current battery that we are getting over here. Because if it's not, then we have a problem, and it's not. We have the problem. Oh my god. Why? Why is there a problem? As you can see, this is 500. How about this? Maybe that does something, I don't know. Um, okay, so now this is 500 in both of them. Okay, okay, that's something, but it's not setting up for some reason. It's not changing this particular save file in the saved game. Why is that? Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. Oh, is it dish? Is it dish? I think it's dish. I don't know. Probably it's this. Let me expand on this as well. So we're going to move it over here, and then duplicate this and move this one over here. This one will be the other branch sequence. Um, over there, over there. And instead of the slot name, we're going to make a literal name, make literal string. And this is going to be the Alright, and the internet went down for a minute, but it's okay. If we go inside the Explorer, I actually want to see if we are even saving anything. So inside the save game, as you can see, we do have game save slot 1. Oh my god. Ah, the internet is at its peak. Alright, so we are saving to this. That much is clear. But what we saved was the options. We didn't actually save the save game file. Okay, now that much is done. Now what I need is how do we set this up, man? How do we do that? Let me disconnect this, split it up, and set all of these things physically like that. How about that? Maybe that this will fix it. I don't know. Okay, saved game, saved options, and we'll save both of them. This will be saved into options and this will be saved into there. And I am actually going to go back and delete this one. So for some reason, I think this is not a great place to put them up. And also my internet is like high somehow. I don't know what is actually happening. Um, I think I have to end it over here, but I don't really want to end at this point. I need to fix this up. How about we don't do this sequence? For now, let's just go with the saving part, right? Let's just do the saving part. So right now, as you can see, we are saving at 500 and 500. Now, if we go back and uh, where is it? Sandbox character. And now if we uh, get the stuff. Okay, okay, okay. It worked. It worked. It worked. It worked. All right. Okay. So nice, nice. It worked. Now I actually do need to check it out. Like how well is this working? So if we are inside here, let's say that I do this. So I saved it at that point, right? Saved it again. And let's turn on the light as well. So I need some kind of update. So I saved it over here. Let's go back. Let's Okay, so as you can see, the sanity actually started from the in between. Nice, nice, nice. The battery is stupid. It doesn't do much until unless I update it with opening it up. So we do have to fix the battery, but other than that, the sanity is working. That means the save game system is working. Now we can expand this in later. Maybe I expand this off camera, but yeah, the internet will not let me do it forever, and I'm hungry right now. So see you guys in the next live, and I hope that you guys get something awesome from this one, because I mean sanity system is kind of a cool thing. You can scare some people. All right, so see you in the next live. Enjoy the music for a bit, and then we will end it, end the live. Again, if you have any questions about anything in particularly about this live, then you can ask them in comment section. Till then, see ya.